When I arrived at her room, Briar was asleep. Damn, she looked even younger than she was, and yet I still had to push thoughts of waking up naked next to her out of my head. I really needed to get laid. Since when was I so affected that I couldn't keep my libido in check? Interesting that Patricia Fasano had never had that effect on me. Briar said she hated being called babe, but the truth was, it was what my mother called my sisters and me, so I considered it the highest term of endearment. Her hair was spread out on the pillow, loose like it had been earlier. Before she was shot, I'd never seen it that way. She always kept it up in a regulation bun. While I would have called it brown before, I could now see it was mostly blonde and wavy, the kind of hair I'd love to run my fingers through. When at rest, her face, that was usually so expressive, looked peaceful. I'd say I'd rarely seen her that way, but with the horror of what we were investigating, how could she be at peace? Briar woke with a start and surveyed the room like she didn't know where she was. "Hi," she said in a tone of voice likely affected by pain meds when her gaze landed on me. "Hey." I stood and walked over to the bed. When close enough, I brushed her hair from her face. She studied me. "Diesel?" "Shh," I whispered, not wanting the moment we were having to end. Soon enough, we'd be back to agent and operative, investigators and colleagues. For now, I wanted her to be Briar, a woman I probably would have asked out if we'd met under different circumstances. "Did you see Fasano?" "I did, but someone else has been assigned to question her." She nodded. "Conflict of interest?" "I suppose. However, not in the way you're suggesting. She may open up to Cowboy in a way she wouldn't with me. He can be her friend. I can't." "Because you had sex with her?"
Victims 1 through 3 also had a loose connection to Miss Jones, actually Mrs. Messick now, by way of where they went to college. But we'd ruled out Edwards as a suspect in the first 3 killings. He couldn't have abducted Fasano or the 5th victim because he was in custody, or dead, depending on when they took place. "Got it all figured out, babe?" When I looked up at him, he winked. "Why do you do that?" "What specifically?" "Call me babe." He shrugged. "Mainly because it irritates you." "You have sisters, don't you?" Diesel smirked. "Don't ask questions pretending like you don't already know the answer. You know I have 2, and I know you're an only child. So why does the babe thing bug you so much?" "It's what my mother called me." We'd both read dossiers on each other, so he knew both my parents were dead. "I'm sorry, Briar. I didn't mean to rub an old wound. I'm sure you miss her." "Actually, I don't, and I detested the nickname." He sat back in the chair. "If that's the case, I apologize in earnest." "You'll stop?" "I will." "And no other nicknames?" He leaned forward, closer to the bed. "You were deep in thought before. What about?" It's beginning to feel like each of these abductions has some degree of separation from Miss Jones. "Mrs. Messick." Right, I keep reminding myself of her new name. Anyway, that's what I was thinking about.